Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nova. In the last episode, we finally went to the end, and as you can see, we got an elytra. We also have shulker boxes, so I think it's time for some big projects. Like, for example, a mob farm. And that's what we're doing today. And I want the mob farm to be pretty efficient. So we're going to build not 1, not 2, not 3, but 8 mob farms. We're gonna need a lot of resources for that, but that shouldn't be a problem. We have a beacon, a bunch of farms. Basically, we have everything we need. So let's fly to the ocean real quick. I mean, look at this. We have a lot of flat space that we can use for mob farms, or just farms in general. We could make like a whole industrial area right here. And the mob farm is going to be the center of it. So before we do anything else, let's get some materials. Oh, and also in the last episode, we found this area right here. Now we got a lodestone compass from this, so we're gonna check that out later. So stone is really easy to get for us, so we're gonna go with that. So according to my calculations, we're going to need around 7.5 shulker boxes of blocks. But that being said, this isn't actually so bad. We already have more than 3 shulker boxes. This is going to be the first time that I repair a tool with this farm. Yeah, it's pretty good. And we're done. That took maybe a minute. And just like that, we have 8 shulker boxes of stone. Now before we go, we still need a lot of cobblestone for dispensers, observers, and so on. And we also need about 4 stacks of string. So having a lot of spiders in here isn't actually that bad. Now that I think about it, it doesn't make too much sense to make all the dispensers right now. Once we have the mob farm, we can easily get more string. So let's build one of them, and then after that we'll have the resource for the rest. Let's leave. So I'm pretty sure the only thing left we need is wood. We can use wood for chests, fence gates, and I think that's about it. So I'm pretty sure that there's nothing nearby. So I think this right here should be the center of the farm. Basically it's going to be kind of a circle of mob farms around us. I'm going to show you how to build one of the farms before building the rest of them. So this is the height of the storage system. So this is where we need to place our hoppers in a 5x5 pattern like this. So these outer hoppers basically go into the central ones, and that's gonna lead into a much bigger storage system. Next we need to build 30 blocks up and make 8 fence gates. Then we have to build a ring around it like this, and then we can go 10 blocks in this direction. And so after doing this on all sides, you need to make this 5 blocks wide on all sides, and then you need to connect all these edges with diagonal lines. And then after that you just fill the rest in. And then we just build a wall around this. It's 2 blocks high with a slab on top, and this is just so that the mobs can't get out. Then we need to build a border right here that goes 2 blocks inside, and this is where the water is gonna go, which is going to push all the mobs into this center, where they're then going to die from fall damage. Unless they have feather falling, but we're gonna address that later. So I think that should be it. So next we need to fill all of this in with water. So if we get everything out of the way, you can see that all of these water streams go to the middle, and yeah. So first of all, let's get rid of this, because now we're gonna make the spawning platforms. So let's place a dispenser like this, and we then need to place 7 slabs in each direction. And again, we need to build some kind of diagonal lines, and then we just fill everything in. We place 2 blocks, dispenser on top, and then an observer facing downwards. So each layer needs to feature water in some way. The first one has water like this, and a bucket in the dispenser. Then we just build the next layer, but this time you put a water bucket in there. Now the next layer is gonna have water on it again, and an empty bucket inside the dispenser. The one after that will have a water bucket in the dispenser, and so on. Now let's build this farm. And one last time, we place an observer like this. So the problem is that right now this farm only works at night. You actually need to build a giant roof above it so that it's dark enough for mobs to spawn. And that's something I don't want to do until the very end. But as you can see right now, I'm trying to build a redstone clock, and every now and then it switches from powering the dispenser to not powering it. An observer can detect that change. That observer then powers this dispenser. It doesn't look like it, but they're definitely connected. But this observer powers the dispenser, which is then detected by this observer, which powers that dispenser, and the signal goes all the way down. And finally, what that does is that every layer with water on it becomes drained, and every other layer becomes flooded with water. And that way, mobs on layers without water are being pushed down, while mobs can spawn on these layers. So let's turn this thing on. As you can see, there's water, and every other layer also changed. So great, we have a working mob farm. And just like that, we should now be at the point where mobs can't spawn in the water, but inside of our mob farm. Anyways, let's try AFKing here for a while, and we'll see what happens. So I've been AFK here for almost a full night, so let's go down. Okay, that's still not a lot of resources. Are we still too high up? So we'll have to experiment with the AFK platform, but I say in the meantime, we still have some farms to build. I want to build 8 of these farms, all kind of connected to each other in a big circle. So after building this farm once and explaining how it works, I'm gonna do the rest of them in a time lapse. A very, very long time lapse. Let's go! This might just be the coolest looking farm I've ever made. I mean, look at this thing. So I modified the redstone clock a little bit. It has the same delay as before, but it's shared between all of the mob farms. But it works really well. And you can see, yeah, it's pretty efficient. And when I say that, I mean it. This thing is so efficient that I had to scrap my original plan of just having one hopper line at the bottom. Now I need to make a storage system for each and every one of these mob farms. Oh, and we still need to solve this issue somehow, because some mobs are gonna spawn with feather falling boots, and that way they can survive. Let's make a storage system. Yeah, okay, it's even more efficient than I thought. That's good, but also bad. Like, these are so many items that we have to handle. All of these items are gonna go into the middle. So I believe 6 chests will be enough. So it's been a while since I built a storage system, but I think I still know how it works. So I think the hoppers are gonna go like this. So that connects up. I'm building this from memory. That's a bad decision. For this last hopper, it doesn't really matter because we don't really need to sort any items here. I should probably explain what I'm doing here. I'm building an item sorter so that we can put each item automatically in one of these chests. This could be for gunpowder, this for arrows, this for rotten flesh, and so on. So we need to put a row, blocks like this, and then stick a bunch of redstone torches on them. This is to deactivate the lower hopper unless there's a specific amount of items in one of these hoppers. So now you can see this has a redstone power of 2, but if I remove one piece of string, it jumps to a redstone power of 1. And now we have a redstone power of 3, which is exactly what we want. Because now if we run the signal down here, we can power these repeaters below, deactivate the redstone torch, and this would in turn reactivate this hopper. And as you can see, if we put string in here, we're only left with 1. And then we can just use a few hoppers to run the items into the lowest chest. And that's how the storage system works. Now we need to put 44 items in every hopper, and thankfully we have a lot of iron, so we can use iron nuggets for that. So for example, this hopper is now for arrows, this one is for rotten flesh, this one for bones, and then with all of that, I think we're done. So finally, we have a working mob farm. Now I could spend the rest of the episode just completing this, but it's a very monotonous task, so I'm gonna do it in between episodes. So instead, let's do a few other things. So we now have access to a lot of gunpowder, a lot of bones, string, etc. Now I'm just gonna get a bit of gunpowder. So here we have 8 stacks, that should be enough. We make 1 stack of paper, rosebush, interesting. 1 stack of paper, 1 stack of gunpowder, and 7 stacks of fireworks stars. So let's see. Interesting. Alright, so let's look for a cave real quick. Bye! You can use fireworks as a weapon. Look at that creeper down there. It's gone. Actually, this guy is a pretty good example. Look at this. Oh no! Oh, it's dead. So it deals a lot of damage. In fact, it deals so much damage that we almost died. So firework rockets are an insane weapon. And it's definitely one of my favorite weapons in the game. See that pig over there? Not anymore. You can use them with your elytra, like normal rockets. The problem is that you take a lot of damage then. Oh yeah, and you can also kind of ram into mobs. It's a little bit difficult to do, but look at that. Normally it would have lasted a lot longer, but because we hit that cow mid-flight, it just exploded. Oh no. Yeah, look at that. Okay, just for the record, that was my first death. That's the first time that I died in this series, and I basically killed myself. And honestly, I'm happy that this is how I died. Yeah, take a look at this. I've never been killed by anything. Player killed you 1 time. Honestly, that's the best possible scenario. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this lodestone compass. I mean, we're done with our main project, so I don't see a reason why we shouldn't go and follow it. Oh, it's already turning. So it should be on this island. Yeah, I see it. I can see it. So what is this thing? It's a lot smaller than that other structure we found. Wait, insert key here. I don't have a key. Do we just put in anything? Okay, so that probably works with an item filter. Is it anything we have in our inventory? I don't think so. So there's definitely something we can do here. I just have no idea what that key could be. Like, do we even have it yet? It could be some completely obscure item that I've never seen before. This definitely has some connection to what we found before. But for the time being, let's just leave this alone. But that being said, this is the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, goodbye.